Now, yeah, Babbzy, blow your nose. I'm not your mind. I know that you are not blind. So please make up your mind. Why are if a man black wrong and you black it too? How she always be watching you and the little thing that you do. How why are Babbzy, blow your nose and not your mind? Cause we are living in a tedious time. Mankind, don't you tell no lie. Why, blow your nose and not your mind. Cause we are living in a tedious time. Babbzy not telling no lie. Why, righteous man. Babbzy won't understand. Yet a righteous man is so hard to find. So I wonder who's gonna stop this war and crimes. Oh, how there are some people can't do things on their own. Yes, they have to wait till Babbzy come home. Yes, you have to learn, then you will earn. Why your Babbzy, blow your nose and not your mind. I know that you are not blind. So
Okay, tell me if you can hear me now. Tell me if you can hear me now. I have spent the last 48 hours on this echo drama. Okay? I have watched a million videos on this echo drama. Can you hear me now? Is it echoing or is it proper? Tell me if you can hear me now. Is it echoing? Please tell me it's not echoing. Please, Lord, tell me this is not echoing today. Because I am at my wit's end with this thing. I actually got a different software to try to see if that's what is causing this echo problem. And really and truly, I'm reading the comments. I don't even know where we are now. Hearing clearly. Thank you. Because people are just saying no, yes, no, yes. Okay, let me double check something. One more thing, and then that should be it. So there's no echo. Let me double check myself too, because hearing clearly. Thank you. People are just saying no, yes, no, yes. Okay, good. I am so happy. For frig's sakes, we got rid of this echo. Shit. All systems go. All right, guys. So this is the Caribbean News Weekly with Babbzy. As you know, I round up a lot of the stories that have been happening throughout the Caribbean that a lot of us may not sometimes get to see or hear about, or even sometimes we did get to see or hear about, but you guys want my take on it. A lot of people message me the stories that they want me to talk about. You know, if you want to message me, you can always message me at contactbabbzy@iambabzy.com or Carla@iambabzy.com, and you will always be able to get me there, so that you will be able to send me whatever news, articles, stuff you want to talk about. Yeah, all right. So good, we're good now. My lips look like Sherry. Oh Lord, thanks. So drop your flags, people. Le Bebe, I didn't even know how you say your name. La Bev, Raymond, Elaine. All right. That's all the people over in the YouTube world, or some people that are commenting. Some of the people don't comment. Keon, Garaway. Okay, let's see who's in Facebook. You know, Facebook's always bigger. Marquise Knight, Kevin Peterkin, Josephine E. Pierre, Diane Finley, Vern Roberts, a whole bunch of people. So, guys, Big changes for me this week. I have gone from a keto diet to a raw food diet. So I'm very miserable and unhappy right now. So if somebody wants to send me a electronic hug, do that. Because this weight loss shit is friggin' annoying. But let's get into the news because we got some stuff going on over the past couple of days and people wanted me to talk about it and ting and ting and ting and ting. Hi B, only child star, what's up? So let's talk about some stuff with the Guyanese folks. Guyanese folks, if you're in the chat, pay attention to this one here. Guyanese couple busted with cocaine pellets in their stomachs at JFK. The wedding vow, for better or for worse, may have been taken seriously by a Guyanese husband and wife who were busted in New York at New York's JFK airport with cocaine in their stomachs. According to the U.S. court documents as seen by news source, the couple Kurt Bruni and Maria Bruni arrived in New York on a Caribbean Airlines flight from Jamaica. The husband was initially pulled over for security checks after the couple arrived. However, checks of his luggage came up empty-handed. But according to U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, the man started acting nervous and began sweating profusely while his hands and legs started to shake. He was presented with an X-ray consent form and he agreed to have the X-ray done. It was at that stage his wife Maria admitted to the Customs and Border Patrol that they had both swallowed pellets of cocaine. After being told what his wife had said, the man admitted that he had swallowed several cocaine pellets. He immediately asked to use the restroom. He passed 34 pellets initially. The contents of one of the pellets was tested for cocaine. He was placed under arrest, and the X-ray examination revealed presence of more cocaine pellets in his stomach. He admitted to swallowing 220 cocaine pellets and was expected to be paid $6,000 US for his drug trafficking effort. The man eventually passed out 218 pellets, just weighing over 3 pounds. 220 pellets. Meanwhile, in a separate room, his wife admitted to swallowing an excess of 50. She passed out more than 75 and was placed under arrest. Both remain in U.S. federal custody awaiting their trial. News sources understand that the investigators in Guyana are probing the couple's ties locally and the person they might have worked along with in their efforts to work as cocaine mules. The couple reportedly lived on the east coast of Demerara, which now appears to be a hotspot for drug mules. Now, watch this story back to back. It was a busy time for cocaine pushers from Guyana as 4 Guyanese nationals were busted at New York's JFK. All 4 cases, the person arrived from Guyana and had cocaine in their stomach. So, Luke Kendall arrived on a flight from Guyana. He was pulled aside and questioned by customs agents, and he was telling them his reason for his visit to the U.S. The agents did not buy the reason, and the man provided names and contact people. They contacted the people, and they could not corroborate his story. At that stage, he was questioned about ingesting cocaine pellets. After an x-ray was ordered, the man admitted that he did indeed swallow a number of cocaine pellets. And the reason why I want to do these 2 particular stories is this, folks. I know that I make a lot of jokes about these kinds of things, but people, if you are going through tough times and you need quick money, this is the absolute worst way to get money, being a drug mule. Like, drug muling is so 1980s, people. Like, real talk, like 1980s bullshit is drug muling. And, you know, there have been people who died in recent times because cocaine has exploded in their stomach. They've become extremely ill, and because they may not necessarily want to tell the police what's happening to them. You know, there's a very popular dancehall person here in Toronto who just dropped in the airport, and they were trying to save him, but he didn't want to go to jail, so he just died because he had cocaine in his stomach. And, like, this is not the way. You know what I mean? You cannot mule drugs in this day and age. You know, a lot of processes have been put in place at the airport to catch you, and they will like draw out your processing time while you're at the airport, put you in immigration, put you in rooms that are excessively hot, excessively cold, if they feel like you are a suspected drug mule. And this is just not the way at this stage of the game to be trying to make money. It's not worth it. Like, to swallow all these pills, if all 220 pills had burst in this man's stomach, he'd be dead. So you died for $6,000. What would you do with the $6,000? You probably go and buy some motorcycles and some red bottom shoes and be trying to show off on people. You know what I mean? If you're drug muling to save your child's life, that's one thing. But if you're drug muling to floss and show people like you have all this money and act like you're this big time baller, shot caller, I would really, really refrain from this whole drug muling thing. And if you guys know anybody who is involved in this type of lifestyle, I would warn them, because I know a lot of people who have passed on because they were drug mules, and it's not worth it. Sorry, allergy time. And yeah, it is absolutely not worth it. And it's just, you're gonna go to jail, and you're gonna go to jail for a very long time, or you're gonna die. Those are your two outcomes for you, right? Let's go on to some sad news that has transpired over the weekend. A St. Lucian-born woman dies at beach outing in St. Vincent. So the lifeless body of a woman who was discovered in the waters on a beach in St. Vincent in the Grenadines this morning is reportedly that of St. Lucian-born British national, according to media reports. The woman's body was discovered floating face down by a friend who had accompanied her to the beach. The Searchlight newspaper has reported. The friend immediately sought help. The woman was pulled from the water but pronounced dead on the scene. The woman, who resided in Camden Park, St. Vincent, with her Vincentian husband, normally visits the beach every day with her friend to take early morning sea baths. So the body was discovered about 9:39 in the morning. The beach is very beautiful. I should show you guys the beach. This is a very beautiful spot in St. Vincent. Trust me. And I want to talk about this too, because a lot of people have been drowning in recent times. Like, I personally have a lifeguard certification, which means that I was trained to be able to save people in the water. I have not been doing that since I was 16, 17. So I would not risk that now. And even though I'm a very skilled swimmer, extremely skilled swimmer, when I visit Barbados, I don't go really past any far distances where there's tides that change. A lot of the places in St. Philip in Barbados, you have to be very careful. There's a lot of undercurrents and undertows, and it's like, I just don't risk the sea anymore, because it's like, you never know. And if you don't know those waters exceptionally well, changes in the water could cause you to find yourself in difficulty. And it's unfortunate that this woman ended up losing her life, probably feeling like every single day she swims there and whatever. Be very careful when you go to the Caribbean and swim. A lot of you have this invincible feeling like, oh yeah, I grew up in Barbados. I left Barbados 20 years ago and I know this water here, or I was a Vinci and I know this, or I was a Lucian and I know this. Shit changes in 20 and 30 years, man. Don't go back to the Caribbean and stunt off and act like you could do a lot of things that you may not be able to motherfucking do now that you're 50 or you're 60. Your body's changed from when you was 20 and you left home. So I see a lot of this happen, where a lot of people really feel like they are able to do these things that I could go and ride on the back of a truck and pick cane and cut. Like, chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, when you go home as a tourist. I don't care if you were born there. I don't care if you lived there for 40 years. If you've been gone for 5 years, when you take your ass home, you need to play a tourist. Put on your sunscreen, you know what I mean? Put on your umbrella hat and chill out, because a lot of you go home and want to show off and walk barefoot and do shit and end up getting hurt and stuff like that, man. Just calm down when you go home and have a good time, and don't end up getting drowning and shit, man, because A lot of you show off way too much, man. Just calm down. Like, yo, I'm Beijing and I ain't swimming out far nowhere in Barbados. I ain't trying none of that. And I'm a damn lifeguard and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Trust me. So it's unfortunate that this happened, but let me get some other stories. There's some information that I had got. There is a let's see the story here. Look at this one. No, this is a Guyana story. Close that. I have all these stories open. Okay, let's go to over in Antigua. The Antigua and Barbuda police are offering a EC $25,000 reward for information leading to the capture of a 53-year-old man who reportedly shot 3 members of his family, killing 2 of them earlier this month. The police issued a statement for Calvin Berger James. He should be considered highly armed and he should be considered dangerous after he is linked to the deaths of his niece, Tanisha Thomas, and her sister-in-law, Sanchezca Charles. So this is what the man looks like, an Antiguan man. If anybody knows anyone who has seen him, because he may most likely be out of Antigua by now. So, another unstable man killing women. I don't know what the problem is. You understand? He may not be still at large as of now, Stargate, but as of this morning when this story was pulled, he was still at large. So he may have been caught, but he killed his niece and the niece's sister-in-law. There's a lot of unstable men running around here nowadays. People, just be careful with these dudes. I don't know what is wrong lately, but really and truly, these guys are really, really, really getting out of hand. There was a warning issued by the Caribbean Public Health Agency this week. It's concerned about the number of women in the Caribbean who are overweight or obese. Studies have revealed that women in the Caribbean have higher rates of obesity in terms of the body mass index compared to men. They also have higher rates of abdominal obesity and are 3 times more likely to be obese than men. In a recent report, the Pan American Health Organization and the Food and Agriculture Organization stated that obesity and overweight are on the rise throughout the Caribbean and Latin America and are particularly prevalent among women and children. Realizing that the whole society approach is necessary to reduce the burden of obesity and diet-related NCDs, CARPA says it continues to support its member states and other regional organizations in efforts to minimize the impact of obesity in the Caribbean. Now, I found this article very, very interesting because, as you know, I travel to the Caribbean a lot. And this year I was on a keto diet. And when you're on a keto diet, you can only eat certain things. And I really found, especially in Barbados, that I struggle to get healthy food almost anywhere. It is very hard in Barbados to get a salad. You know what I mean? Like, it is difficult to get, like, and when I say salad, I don't mean macaroni salad at KFC or coleslaw at KFC riddled with mayonnaise. I'm talking about a real fresh garden salad that might have carrots, red onion, corn, avocado, these kinds of things on it. It is very hard in Barbados to get healthy food, as well as in Jamaica. I was in Jamaica up to last week, and everywhere you go, it's like jerk chicken, rice, pasta, like these kinds of things. And it's like festival, bami, plantain, fried. And, there's no greenery to get while you're down there. And, I feel like it's time to look into that because, I know Chefette has, salads in Barbados, but they're not usually in stock a lot of the times. I know when you go to KFC or Chefette, Barbecue Barn, they have a salad bar that you can choose from and stuff like that. But it's like, it's very hard to get healthy food in the Caribbean, and part of why I started to spiral out of control. Hi, Miss Stoneheart, is because I travel at very odd times. So when I would be going to Grenada, I would leave Toronto at 11:30 at night. right? Fly to Trinidad for 4 o'clock in the morning. When you reach Trinidad at 4 o'clock in the morning, the only food available is in a vending machine. So I'm in Trinidad from 4 o'clock in the morning till 5:30 in the morning when Caribbean Airlines is gonna fly from Trinidad to Grenada, and then it's like you arrive in Grenada at 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's not a lot of options to choose from for breakfast that are healthy options like fruit bowls and fruit smoothies and these kinds of things. Everything is roti and curry this, and it's just heavier stuff that somebody who might be paying attention to what they're eating wouldn't be able to find a lot of things to eat. I found that in Grenada there's not a lot of food places, period, in Grenada. Far less healthy food options either. So for me, it's tough, and it's like I'm traveling 11:30 in the night. I'm already syncing my sleeping pattern out of timing, and then all I have is a vending machine. And then when they do open at the shops, they have doubles to eat. You know what I mean? Like these kinds of greasy kinds of things. I mean, I'm not knocking doubles. Doubles is probably one of my favorite things to eat, people. But at 4 a.m., I don't want to eat doubles. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they need to really look into the types of, outlets and the meals that are offered and the drinks that are offered. In Barbados is like the water selection is limited at restaurants, right? And they want to give you tap water and stuff like that. I don't drink tap water, but then they're giving you Mabi and pineapple juice that is full of sugar, like crazy full of sugar. So that's basically one of the issues that I found in the Caribbean. So I think these agencies that are doing studies need to look into how to get a lot of more healthy food options out there. I know in Barbados, healthy food is very expensive. You know what I mean? And then crap food is easy to get. Snow cones and these things is like, yeah. So we're going to go over to Jamaica now because everybody was talking about these stories from the other day, but this one actually has to do with Barbados. So a Jamaican man is facing possible deportation from Barbados. The Barbados Immigration Department has been tasked with deciding whether 27-year-old man needs to return to his homeland in Jamaica or return to Barbados. Magistrate Douglas Frederick handed Alex Emmanuel Golding, who lives in Watkins Alley, Subtle Street, St. Michael, over to immigration officials for their consideration. Golding had pleaded guilty back in August to unlawfully inflicting serious harm on Kevin Thompson. So I don't know if you guys remember this story. I had covered this story a little bit back a while ago. This man basically chopped up a man in Barbados for sleeping with his wife. So this is him right here. And he's a Jamaican national living in Barbados. And I remember this story because a lot of people were laughing at it. They were like, you getting horny and gone and chop up the man and this and that and blah, 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 and ray, ray, rah, rah, rah. And I want you guys to really start to think about how everything nowadays ends in violence. Everything nowadays is ending in violence. And it's very, very concerning to me because it's like, we don't have to end, okay, your wife is cheating on you. So you need to go and chop up the man and now put your life in trouble and do all these things. Like, you don't have to do that. If your wife's cheating on you, leave her and go and do your own thing. Like, why do you have to chop up people and stab up people? Everything nowadays is basically violent. And I don't understand why. In my mind, it's like, walk away, man. I'll tell you something. And I'm always transparent. I am very, I guess I wouldn't say violent, but I can beat people. I have beat the shit out of people before. I will bust people's ass. Anyone who knows me knows I will beat ass. I've never really been the person to, back in the day when I was younger, if somebody tries to step to me or disrespect me or do something to me, I would straight up beat the shit out of them. And I know now, that I gotta calm down and I can't always be out here beating people because, sometimes, and especially nowadays, I feel like there's a lot of people out here that are out here instigating on purpose. And they don't know a lot of the times how much trouble they're gonna put their life in. They don't know a lot of the times how bad these things could go for them, because social media has caused people to think that they can say whatever and instigate and start drama and start fighting with people online, threaten people online, and then nothing's gonna happen in person. And you know, literally, you're gonna sometimes face people who have absolutely nothing to live for, and they don't care, and they will step to you and beat you. So like for me, I've been lowering my back and forth with people, because I know I'll beat you in real life. And I know if you threaten me online and you're like, yo, Babbzy, anywhere I see you, I'm gonna shot you, that when I see you, you better shoot me. And I'm gonna step to you to shoot me. So I gotta actually, even in my own mind, take myself away from a lot of these people out here, because I'm like, I'm gonna get caught up. I can't have criminal charges because I gotta travel. I gotta get Nexus cards and these things. So the best thing for me to do is try to not get into no back and forth with people. And there's a lot of people nowadays that don't care. They don't have nothing to live for. They will say anything to you to generate a reaction. And you might be the cutlass wielding motherfucker that then ends up going and do them stuff. And for me, I find that the blocking of a lot of these people has helped me tremendously calm down. You know, I don't get into no back and forth with anybody anymore, you know, because it's like, I know that that's what's gonna piss me off. So I try to control that, you know what I'm saying, because I don't want to be violent. So I'm not here preaching like I'm innocent. Yes, I fuck people up too, and I don't want to, and I'm working really hard to stop doing that, and I've been successful. And I'm successful because I just don't mix with people anymore to that magnitude. You know, rum shops, you know, places where everybody sits and smokes weed, you know, places where high people are and drunk people are. You just don't want to be in those places, because drunk people do bear cunt, high people do bear cunt. And then you're going to find yourself in a situation where, you know, you might do something that you don't necessarily want to do, but you feel like you're forced to do. And you know, I'm like that too. I don't want nobody to think I'm a punk, but sometimes it's best to let people think you're a punk so you can live for another day, either with your life or not being locked up in jail. So just think about that. You know what I mean? This is a very big talk about story going on in Jamaica right now. So Jeffrey Campbell is a 26-year-old taxi operator. He went missing a couple days ago. But when he went missing, he sent voice notes to his baby mom, common-law wife, talking about, yo, I'm with this police officer, and if I go missing, it's him. And, you know, like some weirdo shit that was going on. And in the voice note, he sounded very low, like he was whispering, like he was in some kind of a bad situation. Anyhow, they found a body that they think is his, and they're DNA testing it to find out if it's really him. Now, the situation here, you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around. There were people were saying, you know, he was involved in like street life as well and whatever. And, you know, for me, I'm just saying this, you know, street stuff, drug stuff, these things very rarely end up good. You know, money laundering, you know, stealing, you know, embezzlement. You're going to get catch at some point in time. And I know that a lot of you guys are being sucked into social media hype, and you feel like you have to have the latest this, the latest that, and you know you're gonna do anything. So you're gonna drug traffic, mule cocaine in your stomach, and then you're in jail for 20 years for this. And I want to talk about that as well, because I want you guys to know, like, okay, I'm a blogger, right? And I live a decent life. Let me tell you guys, I have a Beamer that I ended up buying. The only reason that I bought a BMW to a brand new one was because I needed a tax write-off, okay? If I did not need a tax write-off, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I would still be boxing around the Bajan Cherry, even though it's like 10 years old, because it drives perfectly. I didn't need a new car. And if anyone knows me, that car sits in my driveway 95% of the time. I hardly drive it because I hardly go anywhere. And the only reason I got it was because I needed to get some kind of tax write-off for my taxes. That is realistically what it was, because I did not have expenses for my company. I'm not a spendaholic type of person. You know, look, we got new appliances. I showed you guys them, right? Old stove started to malfunction. Okay, so what happened was one of the did I stick? What happened was one of the burners went. So then we had three burners. And my mom was like, "Oh, there's only three burners working out of the four burners on the stove." And I was like, "So do you need to use all four burners at the same time?" So she's like, "We need a new stove." And I was like, "Nah, just use the three burners that are there and just cool out and relax yourself." You know what I mean? And then another burner went. So then she was down to two burners. And then I was like, "So you can't just use two burners, Mom, to cook food?" You know what I mean? And she's like, "Carla, come on." And then it went down to one burner. And that's the only reason I got a new stove. You know what I mean? I feel like you don't have to have the latest of everything out here and risk your life to get these things. A lot of these people out here are bullshit. A lot of these people out here, when you see them stunting on social media, they are wearing people's things, they're borrowing clothes, they're being lent stuff, and they're coming out and making you feel like they have all these things and they don't have shit. I'm telling you, a lot of you are putting your life at danger and risking things, chasing people who don't have nothing, who have nothing. So I want you guys to pay attention to this, man. Stop putting your life in danger with drugs and you know, there's no positive outcome to being a drug dealer or being a drug mule or being a money launderer and embezzling. You're going to get caught at some point and you're going to spend a large amount of time in jail. There's no real other way to put it. Like, I remember when I first started blogging, you know, Flippa Mafia, Flippa Mogala was like this socialite in Jamaican dance hall. And this guy went to Sting and threw away like $100,000 to the crowd. And in my mind, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You don't have a job to correlate throwing away that kind. Who the hell throws away $100,000 to a crowd? What do you do for a living that you have that kind of money? And it was literally months after he's locked down in jail, got 28 years, and his wife got this. Like, there's no good outcome to living like this. There's nothing wrong with baking bread and selling bread and making an honest living. I want you guys to really understand this, man, because a lot of you are just getting sucked in to this fake ass bullshit out here. And this taxi guy, you know, they're saying he was involved in a lot of fraudulence and a lot of this and that. You know, now his decomposed body's found. His 1-year-old and his 3-year-old or 4-year-old have no father. You know what I mean? Why? Because you got a little bit of extra money to do what? Like, it's just not worth it, guys. It's not worth it, man. Really and truly. You know what I mean? Just calm down, man. Live life one day at a time. You know, my grandmother always told me, you can only sit in one chair at a time, you know. You can't sit in 45 chairs at one time, man. You can only sit in one chair at a time. Just try to be happy, man. There's not a lot of happiness in red bottom shoes and cars and these things, man. I'm telling you, happiness is in the people in your life who are truly happy. When they're truly happy, you're happy. When my mom is happy, I'm happy. My mom is retired, I'm happy. I would rather have a happy mother than have a collection of red bottom shoes. So think about that, because it's not always worth it. And the last story I'm going to talk about is in Jamaica. 5 people were shot, 2 fatally, as gunmen attack a group in Manchester. A lot of people sent me this story today too. 2 persons are dead and 3 others are injured following an attack by a gunman in a section of Manchester on Saturday. Reports reaching Loop News are that the group of persons, including women and children, were at a football field at the 3 Chain section of the parish, carrying out a clean-up exercise for an entertainment event when a group of men traveling in a as an Axio motor vehicle drove up and opened fire at members of the group. Sounds of the gunfire sent people scampering for cover. The men then drove away from the location. Reports are that 5 persons were later found suffering from gunshots and they were rushed to hospital. Reports coming out from the community that the 2 men from the group have succumbed to their injuries. 3 other persons, including a man in his 60s, have since been admitted. So these people are out cleaning up an area for an event, and people come and open gunfire on them. As I told you, I just came back from Jamaica last week, and I'll tell you guys, I at no point in time while I was in Jamaica felt unsafe. I never felt like my life was in jeopardy. I never felt like I was going to be robbed, approached, whatever. So whenever I see these incidents going on in Jamaica, I always kind of feel disconnected, because I'm like, well, I didn't see nothing when I was in Jamaica. Everybody was happy. Everybody was handing out fucking June plums. Everybody was just eating sugar cane and chilling and living happy life. So it's like, when I see these kinds of incidents transpire, it just always seems so weird to me, because it's like, where is this anger in Jamaica coming from? Because I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, people be like, you walk with security. I don't walk with security guards that are licensed security guards. I walk with security that people that I grew up with that, know the streets, know the road, and, people know them, and it's safe. But I never feel unsafe in Jamaica. I've never feel like I'm going to be in the middle of a shootout, or like, I always feel safe when I'm in Jamaica. It's just weird to me. So it's like every day when I see these, stories coming out, I totally feel disconnected. There was a entertainer, dancer woman named Cocky Tractor who was killed while I was in Jamaica. And the funny thing is, I didn't hear about it in Jamaica. I heard about it from people that lived overseas. They're the ones that talked to me about it and was like, did you hear what happened to Cocky Tractor? Be careful while you in Jamaica, and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, I didn't hear what happened to her. What happened? They're like, oh, well, she got shot up in her car while driving at night. And I'm like, well, I was chilling in front of Island Grill at Constant Spring eating a red pea soup that night. Like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, I don't feel unsafe in Jamaica. I'm not saying it in an arrogant way. I don't feel unsafe in Jamaica. I don't go anywhere and be like, oh my God, let me look around, da 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 da. You know what I mean? I went to Sumfest, so I was in Mo Bay, I was in Runaway Bay, and then I was in Kingston, I was in St. Thomas, Morant Bay. I never feel unsafe in Jamaica, so it's just unfortunate to see, the crime situation over there being so high, and, literally it's like, I don't see that whenever I'm there. So, I don't know how to give advice to tackle crime in Jamaica, because for me, it's like, I don't ever see it. So, it's just really, really weird. So, there you guys have it. A breakdown of a lot of the stories that have been going on in the Caribbean this week. Don't forget that the Caribbean News Weekly with Babbzy runs every single Sunday. I think I'm going to move it to 6 o'clock because my UK posse is kind of complaining, and the UK posse does make up a large portion of my following, so I do have to cater to them, to some extent. And, Dear Babbzy runs on Fridays around 10 p.m., Eastern Standard Time, 10:15 p.m. Babbzy Standard Time, you know what I'm saying? And this week, the YouTube videos are going to be cranking back out. I had some things that I was dealing with this week, and I was kind of upset about some things that transpired. There's some beef going on with vloggers, and I know them, and I've been kind of feeling disappointed at how things have unfolded between them, seeing as I introduced them together. And, I've been kind of feeling down a bit because I feel responsible for the problem that they're having. And I'm a kind of person like this. I don't like to vouch for people very often. I don't like to say, so-and-so's good people, link them, and then it's like they turn out to not be good people. Because a lot of you who may not have been following me for a very long time may not be aware of this. Like, I only have my word in this industry. A lot of people do things strictly because I've given the okay on it, and I'm like, this person's safe, this person's cool. So when my word gets, kind of muckied up, I feel a way about it because I don't want that to happen. I don't ever want people to second guess something that I say. And, you know, me introducing these two vloggers together, and then for the one of them that I said was safe, for them to turn around and start doing some of the things that they did, just really made me feel sad within myself, because I vouched for them, you know what I mean? And then it's like, this is how they turned out. But, you know, the other vlogger's not mad about it. He's like, yo, you couldn't have known. But because I have pride and integrity, it still bothers me. So I've been dealing with that for the past couple of days. But I'm feeling a little bit better today because, as I said, I only have my word out here, man. And I don't like vouching for people that, you know, turn around and backstab and do shit that I don't believe in. Certain things I don't believe in doing out here, you know. So that's how it is. So guys, don't forget, make sure you're subscribed to me here on YouTube if you're watching me on YouTube. If you're not watching me on YouTube, you're on Facebook, make sure you are following me. I'm almost at 200K. Big up yourself, CV. I'm almost at 200K on for actual likes on Facebook, even though I'm at like 260 something thousand followers. So try and get my Facebook page looking good so people don't say that I break out here looking for fans and this and that. Just give me the fans so they don't think that I'm looking for them and they just know that I motherfucking have them. You understand? So big up everybody. I'm going to see you guys Friday if you're into the Dear Babbzy After Dark thing. If not, I will see you guys next Sunday. Big up yourself. I'll go on later.
Oh, the Babbzy Albert and Blender said that. Run things. Ooh, nah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, nah, yeah, yeah. Babbzy blow your nose.